Fast Max concentrated drain powder.
Yes, it is.
I said it once twice. Should I say it a little louder?
Say it a little louder this time. I'll say it with you. SuperFast Max.
Concentrated drain power.
36 applications.
For
Baby.
$1.05. $1.05.
Woo, that's
okay.
dirt cheap.
$1.05 to completely transform your drain. How much does it cost just to get a plumber to show up?
$100. Service call. Service call.
No calling, no questioning. How about $1 and a nickel? You're going to have 36 applications for this one bottle of the concentrated drain powder. They're not going to charge you for the water. It's all that concentrated powder. You just put a little bit in, and then you run the hot water, and we're gonna show you what happens with this Professor Amos. Then we do have auto ship back in stock. That was sold out.
Yes.
So today is your chance to get this on this same price every 90 days, 160 days. But let's just see the difference, because you gotta see it work. It's very satisfying.
So good.
I still got the song in my head.
So good. SuperFast Max is industry leading when it comes to opening your drain lines, but it's not a drain opener. What it is it's a drain cleaner. You're gonna take an application out of here, put it into a cup of hot water. That's your application. Now watch this. Look at the science. You pour that application down the drain, and what you're gonna see is this formulation has an accelerated formula. What that means to you is it doesn't take 30 minutes like the consumer products from the store. You give this one 10 seconds to go to work. Natasha, you at home, OMG, it goes to work right away. SuperFast is designed to turn your hair into foam. It turns the food into foam. It breaks down all that dirt, all the grease, all the oil. It breaks it down into a foam. We call this saponification. That's the dynamic way that it works, by turning everything in the drain into foam. Now the foam breaks down into a liquid. You give it 10 minutes, then you're gonna run hot water for up to 5 minutes, and that drain line comes back. Squeeze!
Keep clean.
Keep clean.
I get it right eventually.
I went a little longer for you that time.
It's all right, it's all right. And then you said something, and then we kind of sometimes rush past it a bit, but it deserves a moment. You said it turns the hair into foam. Other brands don't do that, and that's why you can keep pouring a bottle, a half bottle, and then it's just not really going down.
That's right.
That's because the hair itself doesn't break down the way maybe some other stuff in your drain would. This is the competitor. It's not moving right away.
No.
It's not turning into foam.
No. And it stinks and it smells. It smells like chemicals. When you have a clog at home, let's paint the perfect picture.
Yeah.
Usually you're in a panic state of mind. At that rate, you'll do just about anything to get that drain line open. But when you're using consumer products from the store, most of these products contain acid or ammonia or animal fats. These are highly corrosive materials you're pouring down the drain. Let me explain this. 90% of the chemicals, they'll trickle, they'll ooze, and it'll all creep and get past the clog. It all ends up right down here at this curve unit. You see, this curve unit is designed to hold fluids to keep odors from coming back up and permeating through your house, but the chemicals are sitting there building heats of up to 180 degrees. Whoa, stop, hold up. Wait a minute.
Don't go there.
That's too hot for that's just too hot for the drain line. They're not made to get that hot. They're not bulletproof. In 10 minutes, 30 minutes, the drain line's gonna crack because of the heat. Now, I wanna give this about a minute, and we're gonna come back to it because I wanna actually see if anything happens, but come on over to test tube number 3.
What a waste.
That's a waste, yeah.
This is why I go through a full bottle on one drain. It's like I'm happy just to get that one sink working better when I go to the store and I buy a full bottle, or usually I send my husband to do it. He doesn't come home with one bottle. He comes home with 3 because he knows that's what it's going to take to almost get the job done.
So much chemicals.
Enough of that, especially, you know, when Helen had her drain clogged.
Yeah.
And then the plumber came, you know what he told her?
What'd he tell her?
He said, whatever you do, don't go to the store and get one of those bottles because it's going to heat up your drain too much and it's going to crack the pipes. So what you have to do instead is get something that's going to break it down, like a, you know, actually.
Saponifier.
Well, he didn't use the word because he didn't know how smart she was.
Yeah.
But she said he literally like warned her. He said, don't go get something from the store. It'll overheat and crack
the drain lines.
How come people don't know this?
Breathing those chemicals too. I mean, there's so much more than just heating up the pipes. So let's give it a minute. Come back. Test tube number 3. You at home, Natasha. I want to do it a little different this time. Count to yourself, how long does it take for this to actually start to go to work and penetrate and break down all the grime. I'm gonna pour half of that application in there, and you can see.
Immediate movement.
I mean, it's less than 10 seconds, let's just say that.
Yep.
SuperFast Max is designed to break down last week's food. It's gonna break down last month's food. It's even going to break down last year's food that's hardened and solidified on the inside of that drain line. There it is, SuperFast Max, going to work to break down last year's food that's hardened and solidified on the inside of the drain line. It works smarter, not harder. There's no need to grab a plunger or a snake and put any kind of wear and tear on the inside of the drain line. You're just going to put way too much pressure and strain on there. Let the product do the work so you don't have to.
Does it break down anything that's organic?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's bugs, there's hair, there's the fats, oils, and greases that are in there. It's going to break that down. When our proprietary formula comes in contact with anything oil bio on the inside of the drain line, it's called saponification. It breaks it down by turning it into a foam.
And I'm glad you mentioned the bugs, because this is the part where I just have to warn you, if you're someone who doesn't like hearing about bugs, I apologize.
Yes.
If you've ever seen a bug in your sink, if you've ever seen a bug in your shower,
oh no,
it came up from the drain.
Oh no.
And if you think that running a little water down the drain is gonna flush the bug away, think again. I'm gonna touch this with just the tips of my fingers here, because there's stuff that's living on the inside of your drains.
Bad.
Mostly it's like hair and solidified gunk. And even if you are running the water, they just crawl into those little homes on the sides of the drain, and they wait out the storm, and then they keep coming up through your actual drain in your sink, in your shower. This is where they live. It's where they lay their eggs. It's where they eat. They're actually eating the stuff that's stuck to the inside of the drain. The only way to get rid of what's on the sides of these drains without paying hundreds of dollars or damaging your drains is what you're seeing here. And if you know what that feeling is of seeing something in your sink when you go in the middle of the night into the bathroom, $1.05
to get
take my money, sir. Take my money,
Take my
please.
money.
Absolutely.
I love it. This is innovative drain cleaning technology. Here in test tube number 2, we use our consumer product from the store. Nothing's happened. The chemicals do smell really bad. But on the back of this bottle, they say don't mix chemicals. We have an innovative drain cleaning method. There's no acid in our product. There's no ammonia. There's no animal fat. So what does that mean? That means I can go right over top of the standing chemicals, and with that accelerated formula, my goodness, it starts to work on the standing water, the standing chemicals, all that stuff you put down a drain line. It still goes to work so fast because it's SuperFast Max. It's this accelerated formula, 36 applications. So 36 times you're going to be able to open the drain lines. 36 times you're going to be able to maintenance and clean that drain line. What I mean by that, you don't got to wait for the clog. It's not if, it's when. We say it here all the time. You're going to get a clog. Have this on the ready. Just do maintenancing. Now let that break down for about 10 minutes. Watch this, Natasha. I want to explain what's happening next. After that's done being broken down by being saponified, now you can run the hot water. So everything's been suspended free from the inside of the drain line. It's all been broken down by being saponified. Now you run the water for up to 5 minutes, and look at how that comes back squeaky clean.
Wow. Clean. And most places will say if you put anything else over our stuff, then you're just begging for a problem because it's going to have a chemical reaction and combust. And don't worry, we told you about it on the back of the bottle that you probably didn't read. And then when your drain's cracked, we say not liable because we told you on the back of this bottle, if you ever put anything else after we didn't do the job, if you add anything else on top of it, it's going to be a problem. Well, guess what? Adding the Professor Amos concentrated drain powder is not a problem. It doesn't combust with this stuff. So that's how you get around all of those, you know, they try to add those caveats saying, we're not going to really do the job. You're going to buy something else to do the job. And then when you add them together, you're going to damage your drains. Not our fault. We wrote it on the back of the bottle. That's not what I want to be dealing with. I want it done right the first time. And if I ever made the mistake of not doing it right, I don't want to cause a bigger problem by trying to solve that issue in my drain. Think about your kitchen sink, your bathroom sink. Maybe you have 2 bathroom sinks, right? Maybe you have a couple showers. If you're doing this once every couple months, right? You will not have to worry about any drains for at least a year because this is 36 drain applications. That doesn't mean like I just used it randomly. It means this thing wasn't draining. I used 1 application and I got a brand new pipeline. If you are doing that in your home for over a year, maybe even 2 years worth, is that not worth the $1.05 a sink? I mean, this is really where you're coming into the smarter, not harder philosophy.
That's right. $1 an application. Don't wait for the clog. Do your maintenance and clean the drain lines everywhere. Think about the air conditioning line. You know, it's summertime now. Those air conditioners are running so hard. You put an application into a cup of hot water. You can go up to the drain line on your AC. Here, I just poured about half of that application on that big hunk of oil bar product. But you pour that down the drain line of the AC unit, and you can see all the gunk coming out of the other end on the side of the house. And this right here, this big hunk of oil bar product, this represents last week's food, last month's food, even last year's food. Look what's happening. You give that up to 10 minutes, and it's gonna break it down into foam by saponifying it. It eats through the toughest grime by saponifying, turning it into foam. And you were just talking, you showed this drain here. Okay, hair is the #1 culprit to every clog at home. Every clog consists of some hair. Reason being, the inside of the drain lines are coated with fats, oils, and greases. It's very sticky, very oily in there. Ooh, when you wash your pets one time, you wash your hair one time, the hair goes down to the inside of the drain line, and watch this. It just clings on, and then it starts to build and build and build until there's a nest of hair that's completely choking out the inside of the drain line. Let me show you this. I got a bowl of hair here. We have one of the only hair dissolving formulas in the country that we know of here at HSN. There's a partial application. You can divvy that up. You don't have to pour the whole thing down the drain line. But look at this. 10 minutes. You give this 10 minutes. 10 minutes, it's going to break down pet hair, human hair, fuzz, lint, fur, all that fur.
I hear you saying that, but all I hear is it's breaking down the bug house.
It's breaking down the bug house. The habitat.
The habitat
for the bug
for inhumanity. Okay? If those bugs are digging inside of that hair and the other competitors, truly, they cannot claim it because they can't do it. It doesn't saponify. It's not breaking down hair. So maybe it's breaking down some other stuff, but the hair is remaining and the bugs just kind of, you know, shimmy there into the hair and live there. And no matter how much you're trying to do, you just keep getting these bugs back. Maybe you're calling the exterminators. This is how you do it. Break down the bug house once and for all, because they won't have anything to feed off of or hide in every time they try to live in your pipe.
That's right. I was just on air with someone the other day. We were talking about the fruit flies that linger over the drains, you know, because that's a food, that's a good indication if you got the little fruit flies. I know it's summertime, so some of you have the problem. The little fruit flies or the gnats lingering over the drain lines, that's a good indication that you have a lot of buildup in the drain line. So there's no job too big or too small when it comes to SuperFast Max. These drain lines represent the bigger drain lines that run from under your house out to the sidewalk, down to the city sanitation. Test tube #1 is our SuperFast. You see how fast that worked and cleared that big 6-inch tube. Look at test tube #2. Nothing's happened, but I want to point out the chemicals always go to the lowest point and then they sit there. When they sit there, they're starting to build heats of up to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. That's too hot. Listen. When things get that hot in the drain line, things start to expand. When things expand, guess what's happening? It's expanding back up into the tub. It's expanding back up into the sink. It's coming back up on you. We have pets at home. We have children at home. You don't want chemicals coming back up on you when you're taking hot, steamy showers, and then it's coming back up. It's just not a good thing.
I don't want you to be pushing the bug house closer to...
No.
I mean, for me, it's about the odor. It's about that fast drain.
And it definitely
it's about everything. Everything. You're not waiting with that standing water in the shower or the standing water in the sink or in the kitchen sink. You know that water is draining right down as fast and as efficiently as you want. The odors are gone. The pet hair that was keeping the homes of those bugs in there nice and safe and sound for them.
Right.
This is what gets it out.
This is what gets it out. If you're just tuning in, SuperFast Max is industry leading when it comes to opening your drain lines. But I want you to know this. You got to know. This is not a drain opener. SuperFast Max is a drain cleaner. What that means to you is it's going to open the drain lines, but more importantly, it's going to clean the drain lines, squeaky clean, where there's nothing oily or sticky left behind to attract a new clog. Now, you let that foam break down into a liquid. You give that about 10 minutes to happen. You run hot water after that, and that drain line comes back squeaky clean. Remember one thing. SuperFast is going to turn your hair into foam. It's going to turn all the food into foam. It breaks down all that dirt, grease, and oil in the inside of the drain line. It turns it into foam. We call that saponification. You let that break down. You run hot water for 5 minutes. The drain line comes back squeaky clean, and you're gonna love it. 36 applications is why you're gonna love it, because you don't have to wait for the clog. You can actually just do maintenancing, okay? Do it weekly, do it bi-weekly. You mix the application to a cup of hot water, or you can pour that right down the drain line, and it's going to go to work by saponification. We love that. And I just gotta give you a happy dance, because you're doing the right thing when you got the SuperFast Max.